All right, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's been well. Sorry the video's kind of slowed up a little bit. I've been pretty busy with work and life, and you guys know how that goes. I'm sitting here in the garage right now. Everything's surprisingly clean. I took the day yesterday and I just kind of went through everything. When this place is a disaster, it just throws everything off. So I want to take a step back, clean everything, and now we can start fresh. Some updates that have been going on. Work's been kind of crazy. I haven't been wrenching a lot, but I know my dad has a big order of parts coming for that Mustang. So we'll have some content with that very shortly. I still do have some patchwork to do. I just have to jump back on it. So that's going to be coming up because we got to get all that patchwork done. If you guys saw my little short where I almost died, you guys know me, marketplace miracles. That's what I tend to find. I found this Turbo 400 for $100 with a converter and all. The fluid looks great. They stated that someone has gone through it, but they didn't have any proof. For $100, I'll take it, even just as a core. Now this thing's sitting right here. This thing is all set. It's ready to go to the track. I did the line lock. You guys saw that in the last video, which not a lot of people really watch. So if you want to see that, check that out. That's the last S10 video I did. I'll put a link in the description. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was get this Mustang motor all set. Everything fit where it needed to go and kind of make my own motor mounts. So I dropped it in loosely, and the transmission actually has to go off to get rebuilt. So I have to pull the motor and trans back out. They're in loosely anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and get that out. My dad needs it for tomorrow. So I think we left off at about $780. Whatever he bought is going to be added to that total, and then obviously what it's going to cost to have the transmission done. So let's pull this motor out. That's it. Let's disconnect this transmission, get this in the back of my truck, and then figure out what we're going to do next. Now, like we've talked about before, this is a 2006 6.0, and this is a Power Glide. This is from, I believe, 63 to 73 or 60 to 73. And obviously, it bolts right up to the LS perfect. Couple things I'm gonna have to do. I already spoke to our transmission guy, Dan. Dan's one of the best. He helps us out with everything. He is awesome. So these mounts right here, here, and up here. So I was like, Dan, these are kind of in my way. Do I need them? Like, what are these for? Was this a mount back in the day? Like, did they have a rear mount or something? I said, because they're kind of hitting the tunnel of the foxbody. And he assured me these were from when they built the transmissions from the factory. They used these to hold the case and everything down, and then they built the whole transmission. So I'm gonna cut these off because they're in my way in the tunnel. So you can see right there where everything hit. Now, obviously, I'm not a big transmission guy, so I don't know everything there is to know about transmissions. We have to replace this input shaft. It's been through quite a bit. I didn't even know this. Check this out. On these Power Glides, you can take the input shaft right out. I thought that was pretty cool. And it goes right back in. That's good to know. I wonder if the Turbo 350s and Turbo 400s do that. They might. I honestly just don't know. This hoist is so sketchy. Happy with the placement of it, but it has to come up a little bit because it's sitting right on the K-member. From the face here to the start of the bolt hole, I'm getting 1.5 inches. So I'd like to bring that up at least 1/4 of an inch. So first things first, I think these eBay motor mounts are going to be way too tall, so we're definitely going to have to cut those down. Looks like the motor's got to go to the right a little bit. I'm hoping I can get this factory oil pan to work. It's about 16 5/8 on this side. This side's right on it too. So at least we know the K-member is relatively where it should be from the firewall. That's trash. This is exactly what we want. So we're gonna put them in the bandsaw together, and I'm gonna bolt them together so they don't move. All right, I got this kind of figured out where it needs to be. I'm gonna jack this up, get everything cleaned off. Then we'll tack weld everything where it needs to be. All right, guys, this is a Dynaphile. My friend Dave hates this tool. This is one of my favorite tools. Yeah, it's about $400, but this thing is unreal. I absolutely love it. So Dave, that's why I used it, just because you hate it. I don't know if it's supposed to rain, but the sky really just started getting dark. So we gotta hurry up. Everything's level. It should be pretty good. Got it tacked up right over here. It's not bad, I'm happy with it. I'm gonna tack the back side in, get that all set, and then weld it in. It's gonna drop down a tiny bit in the back. We'll have the transmission back there and everything, but should be pretty good. I got these cheap eBay motor mounts in place. I cut from the bottom of the lower hole to the actual face of the K-member was 1 5/8 inches if you buy those same mounts that I bought. But this is a junk K-member, so it doesn't really even matter. The only reason we went with that style motor mount anyways is because we weren't buying a whole new K-member, because the whole reason we're doing this is to keep it budget. So $30 mounts, let's put the motor back in. As you can see, I got the 6.0 in, and it fit pretty well. For the most part. It was kind of tight down here. There's a small shoulder on the steering rack that was kind of fighting me, so be mindful of that if you go this route. These are $30 motor mounts, like I said earlier. These are $30 motor mounts, so these are $30 motor mounts, so the whole thing was kind of custom. They don't make a mount for this. You have to swap K-members, use an SN95 mount, and then you can run an LS adapter on it. It was just way too complicated because I wanted to use this K-member. So this is a factory K-member, 6.0s slopped in it, ready to go. The motor's tilted a little bit further back because there's no transmission on it. The motor will be a little bit more level once the trans is in. But this is it, guys. Pretty simple. This motor does look like trash, and it's definitely had a rough life. So this whole motor, this motor is going to be, wow, that dog's going crazy. My pup's going nuts. The whole motor is going to be cleaned up, degreased. The block got kind of scaly. All the paint's coming off. So I'm going to attempt to tape everything off and sandblast the block and get all this stuff off and just see if I can clean up the whole thing. Because if we're doing all this work, I want everything to look as nice as possible. The car is not going to look nice. The drivetrain is the only thing that matters. So we'll be working on that next. And that's it, guys. Stock K member, 6.0 with $30 motor mounts. She's in position. So our transmission builder is actually a bowler. So we kind of had to sneak this in the bowling alley. They'll never know. I mean, it's kind of fitting. 60s transmission, 60s bowling alley. All right, guys, it's currently 2:30 in the morning. I just got home. It was a pretty long night, but I'm hoping to get up early and we can get some stuff done on this foxbody. Had to let the puppy out, so I'll catch you guys in the morning. All right, guys, we're back. I got a little bit of sleep and we're somewhat ready to go. I got some cold brew that my wife made me, so it's pretty strong, so that should keep me awake. We have some stuff from a specialized parts manufacturer that I like to call eBay. Let's see what we got. Now, not everything is here. There's still a few more things coming, but I'm gonna start you guys out small and then we'll get to the unexpected. So, this box right here, for that Mustang suspension, we're gonna need some adjustability. Everybody that talks on my videos says the rear control arms are absolute trash. We have these adjustable control arms right here. I don't have the price list in front of me. This build, by the time I sold everything, I had $450 into that car before anything. That was the glass, the doors, and the shell of the car itself. $450. I know that I can't do that car. I have way too much going on with this thing and all my other projects. I said, so we can either scrap it or you can have it, buy whatever you want for it, and we'll make it happen. So that's what he opted to do. That's why we're doing that car. I'd rather see my dad want to do something with it than scrap it. So I'll get that parts list and we can go over the pricing. So right here, we have adjustable upper control arms. They appear to be pretty good quality, and I want to say these came in at about $55 or $60. It came with all the nuts, the bolts, the spacers, all the hardware needed to install these. This will be nice when we put that drivetrain in, because the mounts that I put in that Mustang, those are $30 eBay universal mounts. I don't really know exactly what the pinion angle is going to be at, because I don't have a drive shaft. The transmission wasn't fully in. So being able to adjust that rear end up and down will help me a lot when I try and do this pinion angle. Moving on. So, I'm not necessarily sure this is going to be the cheapest route. This is also the first time I'm doing this, and I'm actually in the same process right now of doing this on my Red 79 Z28, so I can't really tell you how much it costs. We got a nice standalone wiring harness. Listen, if you have a harness and you want to chop it down and do all this, be my guest. Do whatever you want. You know, no one's going to stop you. That's a great idea. Huge learning curve. You know, maybe you can make money off of doing it. But this costs $87. That's how much it was. For you to spend the time and do all of this, yeah, is every pin going to be right? I don't know. It's kind of a shot in the dark, so we really don't know. But for $87, I will take the chance on it. It comes with the screws for your PCM plugs, and then it also comes with the wiring diagram and everything about it. But for what it is, the grommet's already on it. You can pass this directly through the firewall. Obviously, you have to put this side in first because this side will never go. But it's got your relays, it's got your fuses, it's got everything on it. It's already done. For $87, it's either time or money. That's up to you guys, whatever you want. I cheaped out and went the $87. That was less money. So this next part was not really even in the plan at all. But for some reason, I'm kind of happy. This build got a little bit of traction. I think people like this because it's cheap. It's affordable. You know, I'm just your everyday guy, so I'm nobody. I'm your everyday, just hardworking guy, just trying to get by and work on some cars and do what I like to do. I must say, this did come from Shanghai, and I think you guys know what it could be. Are you guys ready for this? Because I'm pretty excited. I did already open it because it came in last night, and I'm like a little kid, so I couldn't not look at it, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta open it. So yeah, I opened it. Won't be needing that. Here we are, everybody. You know exactly what that is. I spilled something all over my sweatshirt, so here we are. But I'm back. And what we're working with, this is a $215 eBay Turbo. It's a 105/66. I think it weighs about 37, 38 pounds. And this is about as cheap and sloppy as you can get. I mean, there are smaller, cheaper turbos, but for $215, we'll take it. This is the style that you guys asked for, so I want to keep creating content that you guys want to watch. I want to do the stuff that you guys want to do as well. This stuff isn't easy, and it does take a lot of time, and we're hoping not a lot of money, but everything gets expensive. So thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one.